What's going on YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. If you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and smash that post notification bell so you are notified every single time I drop a video and you don't miss not one single video. Everybody that's in here, make sure you hit that like button and comment down below. You know I love chatting with you guys. I love talking to you guys. I comment and respond to every single comment that I get, good or bad. I always enjoy talking to everybody and responding. As you saw from the title and the thumbnail, we have a good one today. This is Millie. This is Shanti's sister. Shanti is the very first dog that I did on my channel, the very first video that I dropped. If y'all haven't seen it, I will link it right here in the card so y'all can click on that when the video is done. But this is Millie, her sister. As you can see, she is not a fan of getting her nails done. She's not like Shanti. She's a little bit more feistier, but that is a typical terrier. But I got some good stuff for y'all today. A good educational video. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. Okay, so for Millie, we are just going to be cleaning her up. Her mom has been growing her hair out for at least the past year since I've known her. Recently, she got Millie's hair cut, which was surprising to me because she loved how long Millie's hair was. But Millie had an incident where she was almost choking on the hair around her face because it got stuck in her throat, and then she got a hairball, and it was a whole big vet thing. So recently, she actually got Millie's fur cut around her face and then got her body cut, and she has some flared legs. I did not record that video, but the next time she comes in, I'm going to record the updated groom because she's probably going to get the same haircut again because she wants to maintain Millie's hair at a decent length. But in this video, we're going to just be cleaning up Millie, trimming around her face, and then for her visor, her mom likes to leave just a little bit up there because it keeps the hair from falling in front of her face. And we're going to trim around her feet, do her sanitary, and her paw pads. There's not a lot to Millie's grooms. It's just the nails that she's super feisty for. She does not like her nails being done. She absolutely hates it. But as you can see, she calms down and she relaxes and she lets me do it, because one thing about terriers that I've noticed is they will fight you until they realize you're not going to give up. And if they feel like that you're going to give up, they will continue to fight you until you give up. But if you show them persistence and follow through with what you're doing, they will eventually relax and calm down and let you do it. And then also, terriers need to know that you're the more dominant one and that you're the more serious one, and that, okay, this is your grooming session, you're going to get this done. And that was one of the things that I was trained in when I first became a groomer, is terriers will fight you to the death. And it is so true. It's so true about terriers because they like to be dominant no matter what terrier you come across, and there are a lot. There are Airedales, Schnauzers, Yorkies, Pit Bulls. There's so many terriers that will almost strong arm you because they're smart dogs, and not even anything aggressive, because none of those breeds that I mentioned really show aggression for no reason, in my opinion. I'm going to say in my opinion because other people have different opinions, but in my opinion, none of those breeds show aggression for no reason. For grooming, Yorkies don't really like it. There's a lot of groomers that they will tell you, I'll never get a Yorkie, because they are little feisty things. They are something else, but they're sweet dogs if you get to know them. Like Millie, she absolutely loves me. They're great dogs. They're a lot to handle, and they're very smart, and they will outsmart you if they can. But getting into how to maintain a drop coat, if you are getting a Yorkie puppy and you want to keep her full coat, couple things that you're going to need. One, you're going to need a good detangling spray, and you're going to need a good pen brush. I won't say a slicker brush because a slicker brush will just continue to damage the coat depending on how often you're brushing your dog. So a pen brush is a little bit softer on the coat with the detangling spray that'll keep it nice and soft, silky, and keep the mats out. If you are looking to do a drop coat on the dog, if you have this type of Yorkie with this type of coat, and you want to cut it a little bit shorter, try a zero guard comb or a zero guard comb in reverse. A zero guard comb in reverse is a little bit tighter, but it looks very clean and very sleek on a Yorkie. Also invest in a really good sheen spray. Esprit has a really good sheen spray. ESPREE. They have really good products, and a good sheen spray that I actually recently used on a Yorkie, and it made the coat so shiny, so silky, and so smooth. It made the cut come out so much better. So a detangling spray, a sheen spray, and a good pen brush. And keep those ears clean because they can get really greasy as well. Also, if you are keeping a full coat on your Yorkie, or if you have a full coat on your Maltese, your Shih Tzu, find a groomer that is able to maintain that and help you with that, and can recommend great products for you to use at home, and also recommend a good routine to keep that coat nice and silky and flowing, because when you have a full coat on your dog, it can quickly become matted and very hard to maintain. And sometimes, depending on how long the full coat is, if you're in the middle of growing it out, or if you've grown it out and it's super long, if something like that gets matted down to the skin, it can be very, very difficult to demat and can be really hard on the dog. So finding a groomer that's going to help you maintain that full coat and do a really good job and give you assistance on what you can do at home is very key to a dog with a full drop coat. Also, if you're going to be maintaining the drop coat at home, I would recommend watching different YouTube videos on what you can do at home and different products that you can use on your dog at home. Hydra is a really, really phenomenal. It is excellent. That shampoo and conditioner, any product from Hydra is awesome. Hydra, Hydra. They have great products. You cannot go wrong with their products. I mean, when I say it just makes a world of difference on the dog's coat, it smells phenomenal. The smell is long lasting, and it's also moisturizing to your actual hands. It's just, it's a phenomenal product. You really can't go wrong with that. iGroom as well as Quadruplet. Those are really, really, really good brands that you can use on maintaining your dog at home. Now, generally, I'm not a fan of a 2-in-1 product. So a 2-in-1 product is a shampoo and a conditioner built into one, and generally I'm not a fan of it, but I recently used Quadruplets 2-in-1, and oh my god, it's so good. I still will put on a leave-in conditioner after the bath and the drying. Well, after the bath, and then I'll rub it into the coat and then towel dry them real quick and then velocity dry them. But Quadruplet, their 2-in-1, their shampoo that conditions as well, is so nice. As well as Nature Specialties Plum Silky, that is a conditioning shampoo that is phenomenal as well. I used that on my dog and it just did wonders for her coat. It made her so soft, so silky. It added major shine to her coat as well. It was just a drastic change that I had never seen in any shampoo and conditioner before. So take a look at Nature Specialties, Plum Silky, and Hydra. Any product by Hydra is awesome. So take a look at those. They are really good. And iGroom, they are awesome. The price point on those products are a little bit higher, but it's so well worth it, I promise. So just to quickly touch on her haircut, again, like I stated in the beginning, she doesn't get a full haircut, at least not in this video. She literally just gets a clean up. So I brush her out from the bath, and then I run through her with a comb and I get all of that dead fur out of her, and then I just neaten up her feet, her sanitary, her eyes, and then her visor a little bit, and then we leave it at that because she really likes her face long and she loves her ears long the way it is. But like I stated, recently we did cut her hair down because one, it was getting damaged, and then two, she did get fur stuck in her mouth where she had a hairball and she couldn't really breathe and she had to go to a vet. So it was a whole thing with little Millie. But I wanted to quickly touch on that before we touch on the topic. And the topic really is going to be about matting, because if you are going to grow your dog's coat out into a drop coat layer, matting is definitely something that you want to take into consideration, because if your dog is matted, depending on the type of matting, It can either be brushed out or the dog would have to be shaved, but we're going to get right into that. But if y'all have any questions about anything drop coat related or anything about this video, feel free to drop it down in the comments. Make sure you hit that like button so we can get my channel to start growing again. Make sure y'all watch the ads. I know some of the ads can be a little bit long, but make sure y'all watch the ads. That helps me grow, helps me continue to be able to push out content for y'all. Drop a comment down there if y'all have any questions, anything to talk about, but let's get straight into the topic. So when it comes to matting, for me, there is 3 different types of matting. There is web matting, where it looks like a spider web, where all the mats are connected around the body, which that gives me the heebie-jeebies. There is pin matting, that's little tiny pin mats all around the dog's body. And then there is pelted matting. That is when the dog is matted to the skin and it looks like a dreadlock. Depending on which matting you have will depend on whether or not the mats can be brushed out or dematted. Now, if you really take time out and work at it and your mats look like dreadlocks, technically you could get that to brush out, but it's very time consuming, and if you're getting a groomer to do it, it can become very expensive. If you have pin mats are very easy to brush out. Depending on how many pin mats it is, it can be time consuming, and that is not as expensive as dematting maybe like a locked mat on a dog, but it can be a bit more on the expensive side and raise the price a little bit. The other one would be spiderweb matting. That's just web matting. That matting, I don't usually recommend dematting, because when the mat is wrapped up into a web, that means it's connected all over the dog's body and it's super tight to the body, and it's really hard to brush out, because that matting is like, think about when you tie a knot around someone's wrist. Think about you trying to separate your wrist while your wrists are tied into a knot. That is how hard it is to get web matting dematted. It's really hard, and it's dangerous because it is close to the skin. So for groomers, most groomers are not comfortable dematting mats like that because it's so dangerous. Now, if you want to know if web matting can be dematted, technically yes. In my opinion, any mat can be dematted. It just depends on, 1, is it safe for the dog, and 2, is it worth it? Because if you are dry dematting a dog, it's damaging the coat. If you don't have the proper conditioning spray or the proper detangling spray, it is essentially damaging the coat, and it's just ripping that fur out. But if you have the proper detangling spray, it can be not as detrimental to the coat, but in the same sense, it's very time consuming and it can become painful to the dog, which is why most groomers just recommend shaving and starting over, because 1, it is very time consuming. Most groomers don't have the time to demat a whole dog that has web matting, and 2, most dogs won't tolerate being dematted to that extent, because it is a lot. It's a lot of tugging at the skin, it's a lot of tugging at the coat, and there's only so much you can do where they won't feel it. But if you're consistently brushing those mats out and the dog is matted all over the body, whether you're holding the base of the mat or not, at some point in time it's going to yank at the coat and the dog is going to flinch, yelp, or even try and bite, because some dogs are bite or flight. So if it hurts, the dog is going to bite or it's going to cower away. You don't want to put your dog or the groomer in that predicament, because it is unsafe. Now, pin mats, in my opinion, have to be probably the easiest mats for me to detangle or demat, because they're not big mats, and if you're using the proper spray and conditioning spray, you can spray it on your brush and you can also spray it on the coat. I recommend spraying it on your brush as opposed to the coat, because you don't want to make the skin wet, where when you're brushing you're now irritating the skin, because any spray will soften up the skin. So, but pin Pin mats are the easiest to demat for me because they're not a lot of them. They're little small mats, and sometimes it's just like little tangles that you can kind of pluck out with your finger if it's almost like tufts, like if the dog is like shedding and molting. And 9 times out of 10, pin mats the owners can get out of the coat at home by themselves if you have the proper products to work at the coat and still keep the coat healthy while you're brushing at the coat, because a slicker brush over time can damage the coat. Most owners don't know that, which is why sometimes we recommend pin brushes if you're going to keep your dog long, but we also recommend a hard metal comb. Now when it comes to pelted mats, if your dog's mats are to the point where they are formed as a dreadlock, one, wires your dog's mats like that. But 2, if it gets to a point where you have kind of fell out of the routine of brushing your dog, or you kind of lost control of the fur and the fur got too long and you couldn't maintain it, take your dog to the grooming salon as soon as possible. And please do not ask us to brush that out, because 9 times out of 10 we're going to say no, because most dogs will not sit for you to demat a pelted mat where it's in the form of a dreadlock. That is too much for the dog. It's too much for the groomer, and I can almost guarantee it's going to be too much for you to pay for one single grooming. And at that point, if it gets to that point, it's not worth it, because at that point when you're dematting a dog's whose mat turned into a dreadlock, dematting it is just going to damage the coat. No matter what type of products that you use, it's just going to damage the coat, and it's not worth it for the dog, because most dogs won't tolerate brushing to that extent. So it just becomes not worth it for the dog, not worth it for the groomer. So we will always just opt to shave a dog, because that is what's best for the dog. And you never know what's under the mat. It could be a mole under the mat, and then you're brushing it and you brush at the mole, and then you cut the mole with the brush. It's just a whole thing. You can comb a mole off. That's happened to me before, which was crazy. But it happens because you don't know what's under the dog's fur. So if you have a dog and the dog has gotten to a point of no return and you cannot brush that out, just be okay with shaving it down and starting over, because that is what's best for your dog at the end of the day. And I believe I've stated this in one of my other videos, but I do feel like it's worth it to say it again, because I've seen so many people say this: a shampoo or conditioner cannot make your dog matted, nor can the groomer make your dog matted. I've had so many clients come in and say, you left it too long last time, so my dog got matted, when they requested to leave the fur long. Or, I don't know what you did to my dog last time, what product you used, but my dog was matted after that, so I don't want to use that. Your dog does not get matted because the groomer left the fur too long at your request. Your dog does not get matted because of a certain shampoo or conditioner that you use. No matter the quality of the shampoo, it's not going to mat your dog. What mats your dog is the lack of brushing and combing at home, which is why we always recommend for people who get puppies and they get these cute little Shih Tzus or cute little Cockapoos, or people who get doodles, brush and comb your dog, because you are going to be in for a very big shock when you have this fluffy dog and it's so cute and so curly, and then under all that fluff is just mats, and your dog has to be shaved down to the skin, and then you're going to be upset. Your dog's going to act different because they're not used to having no hair on their body, and it's just going to be a big traumatizing experience for you and your dog. So the basic thing is, do your research before you get your dog, and brush your dog if you get a long-haired dog. Now we are coming to the end of Millie's groom, and as usual, I just want to thank every single last one of you guys for subscribing to my channel. Thank you to the new subscribers who hit subscribe from this video. Now we are going to take a quick flashback look at Millie's before of what she looked like when she first came in, and oh my goodness. And now this is her after. She looks drastically different. Absolutely cute. Make sure you guys smash that like button, drop a comment down below, hit the subscribe button, train your dogs for grooming, and I will see you in the next video. Love you guys.